Free beer and hot wings in the morning. Grand Rapids rocks all day. 97.9 GRD rocks.
Partly cloudy and mild today, 67 the high. It's about 48 downtown GR. So there's another investigation. I want to talk about Hot Wings and his geographical amnesia.
That was really fascinating.
So this is what happened off the air earlier. Somebody had tweeted, one of my friends, about what was a really memorable college football moment from when we were in college. And I know exactly where I was when I watched it because it was a unique circumstance. It was 1994. CMU was supposed to be okay, but they ended up having what at the time was a dream season. They had Brian Pruitt, who ended up being a Heisman Trophy candidate.
That guy was amazing.
He was All-American as a running back, which was a really big deal for
He was like
Central
number
Michigan.
2 behind Rashawn Salam or something,
from
wasn't
Colorado.
he?
Who was drafted by, I think, Joe's Bears and then was terrible.
Nice dude,
And so-
too.
Yes.
They ended up being really good, but they went on the road late in the year to take on Bowling Green. And
Wait, they went on the road.
They went on the road.
They
And
got
I
in a
know
bus
that
or plane and flew
because
down there.
I lamented the fact that while a lot of my friends were going to drive to Bowling Green to watch the game, I drove to Northern Michigan University where I was going to broadcast a football doubleheader in the playoffs for high school football, which was exciting as well.
Well, at least
And so
you
I
knew
knew
you were going to get laid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So me and the guy I was doing the games with, we stayed at the dorms of Northern Michigan University. They let us stay there for free.
Yeah.
And somebody had a TV, and the game was on TV, which was really rare then for CMU to have a game on TV. So we're watching in this dorm. And so then in that game, there were a couple highlights. And during a commercial break, it's for people that went to CMU in the mid-'90s, this was a big deal. This guy named Craig Fisher was the punter, and he was kind of an oafish punter compared to the size normally. Like now it's not so uncommon. But he's a big dude. And on his own, he had noticed that every time CMU punted, Bowling Green would just peel out and take off down the field. They weren't keeping an eye on him to make sure he punted the ball. They were trying to set up a return.
Trying to block in any way.
Yeah.
And so it was 4th and 1, key moment in the game. I think CMU was down, but I'm not sure. But on his own, he decides I can get a yard. He takes off running, and it so surprises everyone, including his teammates, that no one knows he's running a fake punt until he's 20 yards down the field. He ends up going 72 yards for a score, and CMU never trailed the rest of the game.
Unbelievable.
Huge moment. And so I'm just watching the video, and I go, man, I can't believe how long ago this was. And Hot Wings goes, oh, my God, I was there. Now, Hot Wings and I were roommates in 1994, and I was shocked to hear that he, without telling me, jumped in his car and drove to Bowling Green with his friends to watch the game. And I said, you drove to Bowling Green? And Hot Wings said, no, that game was at CMU. And I go, no, it's definitely at Bowling Green. And by this point, by the way, I'm watching the video, and you could see that it's on a grass field. CMU had turf, and the numbers are orange. They wouldn't have been that color.
But he wouldn't let it go.
And Hot Wings goes, no, that was at home. I was there. And then he says he didn't score while the guy's running in the end zone, holding the football up. Yeah, I did it.
No, that's not what I said. I said, well, I go, well, maybe he did this. He did that at another game too, that in which he didn't score or something. Like, this is what politicians must speak about when they say I misremembered. Because honest to God, if you had brought that up,
You thought you were at that game?
I really thought I was at that game.
You
I
thought you
that
went
game
to Bowling Green in your car with no friends and went to sit in the section.
I thought that game happened at CMU. Now, that's probably because, as I also told you off the air, I was probably really drunk and probably in front of like a good television, and I thought I was in the stadium.
I was in the TV. That's your latest excuse. Yes.
No, I mean, I probably thought I was in a stadium because I was so drunk. I was really drunk, probably, but no. I honest to God, I thought I was at that game.
Your memory cannot be trusted.
So funny.
No,
man.
it can't.
How do you remember being at the game, but you don't remember being drunk?
You remember every time you're. Well, that's part of it. Like, you don't remember how things because you were so drunk.
You're making things up.
And I was drunk way more often than I saw any type of football.
Yeah, how many
Jesus,
CMU
I was
games?
drunk every weekend.
Did you go to a lot of games?
Oh, I went to almost all of them. Yeah, all the home games. Oh, I went to a ton of games. The only games
You did not.
No, I did. I went to all the home games other than the ones that once I started working at CMU, if I was working on a Saturday afternoon and couldn't go, then I didn't go. But I went to every other game that was at CMU.
Why didn't you go with us?
Because we didn't hang out with the
You
same
were
group
roommates
of friends.
or friends.
He was playing the game.
He didn't know you
No,
until last
The
year.
stadium holds 20,000. The students sit in one section. There was like 600 of us there. We didn't bump into each other.
We never went together. I went my first year. I always went with Brent and Eric and Steve, who were my 3 roommates.
Yes.
My second year, I went with my roommates too, who were Brent and Eric and John.
I think you.
I went to all 407 games while I was in college.
Why shouldn't we believe you?
No, I went. Hell, yeah, you could ask them that. I know I went to the home games because it was a big deal. It was awesome, and I lived right across the street from the stadium, and we got in for free. It wasn't like we were at one of those big universities where they go, well, hey, good news, you get first crack at it. You still got to pay for your tickets. You know, you walk right over and get in.
In a perfect world, this is where I say. Of course, Hot Wings, it says right here, CMU's first season of football was 1994.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is
So you went to all the
ridiculous.
games before I knew you.
I went to all the games
then none.
after I knew you. We didn't hang out that often. We really didn't.
first
we
home game-
had a whole different group of friends.
The first home game of the first year I lived with you, we got drunk watching Saved by the Bell and walked to the game with 2 girls from your high school. And that's the last time I went to a football game with you. And I only went to like 3 more.
I've been to more CMU games than you.
I go every weekend.
Dude, I went to a lot of games.
All right, let's see if we
you
see
went
you
to
in the
so many.
stands.
I went to a lot of
Yeah, you
games.
mean in this big punt return that this guy did all the time? That's why it's a big deal?
I went to every home game the year that they had like 5 or 6 ties.
Yeah, why wouldn't we believe you? You were at this
know
game in
that.
Bowling Green that they played at CMU.
We're going to find you.
But no one in Bowling Green picks it up. They're
Listen to
set
that,
up
Ray
in that
Bentley.
return mode all the way. Look at them turn their backs.
Look at 'em.
Nobody even sees it. Nobody even sees it.
Greatest fake
You
punt
get
ever.
them to turn
Watch 'em.
backs, and you got some things you could get accomplished. Boy, Pruitt doesn't have anything on Fisher. Look at him in the open field, shaking and baking.
He was moving, man.
Yeah, he says, hey, teammate, nation's leading rusher. Look what I've got for you.
Boy, that was
That absolutely-
fantastic.
Yeah.
It
Oh, there's Hot
really
Wings.
is.
Oh, there you are.
He's
Yeah,
in the
there I
top
am.
row of the end zone doing his checkbook.
Oh, no, he just
There I
tried to
am.
tackle him. There he is right there in that orange uniform.
An idiot is on the field.
Looking at receipts. Just in case that beer was
Oh,
Coca-Cola.
back then, I was looking at my carbons.
I honestly didn't did not
Yeah,
think this
mobile.
that would be recreated, but it was perfectly and even better than before.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Questionable memory.
Very questionable memory. I know I wasn't at either of the Michigan State games. I know I wasn't at those.
Yeah. You think you weren't. You thought you knew
I know.
you were
Yeah,
at that
I
game.
probably was. I was
You
probably.
can't say you know anything.
No, I know things I didn't
not gonna
do.
tell
I
you
just
which
can't
ones.
remember things I did do, apparently.
There are 2 stories that you have that you weren't at where you tell from a first-person perspective.
What's the
that
other
are-
one?
No, that's not one of them. I'm talking about 2 stories that we haven't talked about in this moment that I was at and that you weren't at. And I have heard you then tell that story as though you were there. And the next time it happens, I'm going to go,
Oh,
this is
well,
one of them.
I don't-
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
well, I don't know what it is then.
Well, that's what makes them so good at radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, you have to tell stories like that.
Right.
Well, it's not that you're telling. You believe it.
Yeah. Well,
You're so defeated.
Yeah. Well,
You don't know what's
well,
up
that's
and
such
down
a crazy.
anymore.
Well, that's such a that's such a big claim, and without knowing what it is, I go, okay.
Well,
I without knowing where
Well, you don't-
that's even going.
You don't have to defend it.
Yeah.
We'll just
No.
put a pin in it. Maybe a week down the road, maybe 5 years. I'll go, there it is.
There it is. Oh, I can't wait. Cannot wait.
See, I hate that, man. I hate that.
What if you're not even here right now? What if you're drunk watching a TV of this show?
There have been some that suggest that maybe this whole thing is the Matrix.
Yeah.
And if I got a glitch, maybe I'm Neo and I'm trying to get out, and I'm the only one who knows what the hell's going on.
Maybe. Did you see that cat?
Maybe I was at that
maybe
game.
there is a glitch. Maybe you were. We don't know.
Maybe in my
I'll
reality,
just go with that.
which is simply a true alternative reality, it happened where I went to college.
It's too bad you ended up in our reality where none of us believe anything you say and you didn't go to any of those games.
Oh, I went. I went to a lot of games. Just clearly not that one.
There's a bunch of people in the upside down world that are missing you right now. Mm-hmm. Where did that guy go that we went to all those games with?
Yeah, I don't know. Why are there Christmas lights up in June?
Because they're pretty.
All right. Channel 13 WCZM has been doing for a while investigative reports about speed limits.
I know. No one's fixing anything.
No, they just keep bashing the officials in the face with the truth.
Yes.
And they're back again with another investigative report here.
Watchdog team found multiple cases across West Michigan.
Speed limits that appear to be set too low. And by state laws, and state law, they're being considered by some in the Michigan State Police to be unenforceable.
Watchdog David Bailey obtained hundreds of internal emails from the MSP and exposes the truth about troopers' enforcement of those speed limits. He joins us now. David.
Good evening, guys. Over the years, several of the top leaders at the Michigan State Police have instructed local leaders what they should do to make sure their speed limits are legal, especially after state law, a big-time changes there in 2006. Now, many of the locals have ignored the MSP's advice over the years.
Because that's how they generate a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does this guy get tickets every time he backs out of his driveway? Oh, you did it again. Taillights are out. Smash.
To change any of those limits, putting the state's law enforcement agency, the top law enforcement agency, in a very difficult position. Driver Anthony Owen is not facing criminal charges, even though he was caught going 43 and a 25 in Saranac and later suspected to have been drinking and driving. Deputies in Ionia County pulled him over.
Have you been drinking while you were driving at all, man?
Well, no, I have not. Actually.
Not while I was driving.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to get technical.
Spilled it on my pants.
Yeah, I mean, I told the truth of the question you asked. You asked if I was drinking while driving. No.
To be honest with you,
Not that big of a deal, man.
No, I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't drinking and driving.
They tested.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
And tested.
Blah, 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 blah.
And ultimately arrested.
Because you're under the influence, you've got OWI, you've got possession of a firearm while intoxicated.
But it all went away recently in a courtroom in Ionia. A judge ruled the speed limit where Owen was stopped to be 55, the state's default speed limit, not 25.
Wow, that's a dramatic difference.
Yeah, it
wow,
sure
they
is.
had it posted at 25?
Yeah.
Owen technically wasn't speeding at 43. The rest of what happened got tossed.
Well, that sucks.
The judge's decision that's currently on appeal.
It does, but that's how it goes.
It
and
does,
what they need
but-
to do is that should be a kick in the ass to fix it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Village of Saranac didn't comply with state law by not having any documentation to show how that speed limit was set. Believe it or not, the key witness in the hearing to exonerate the alleged drunk driver, a Michigan State Police executive, one Lieutenant Gary Maggie, an MSP expert who was honored in 2006 with the Governor's Traffic Safety Advisory Commission Safety Award for his work
There was
on
a lot of safeties in that award.
Yeah. I don't even know what the award is for.
No, I don't either.
speed limits. Lieutenant Maggie has pushed local governments in recent years to reevaluate their speed limits and testified in Owen's court hearing, quote, "It doesn't mean they can do whatever they want, but they are responsible to establish safe and realistic and enforceable speed limits." Lieutenant Maggie also spoke with the 13 Watchdog team back in November for our original story on Grand Rapids speed limits. He at that time told us he thought some of the limits in GR were illegal and unenforceable.
Of course they
Absolutely
are. Have
they
you ever
are.
gone down Fuller? It's 35.
Yeah.
No one drives 35.
Right?
No.
It's a 4-lane road
you do
also.
that, you're getting run over.
You really are.
No, it should be at least, 45.
I think so.
Yeah.
Emails from the MSP we obtained show Lieutenant Maggie was punished for speaking out to our team.
Oh, of course he
Maggie
was.
wrote in an email, quote, "I have been essentially forbidden to talk to the press as a result of the article on GR speed limits that you sent me. The chief of GRPD called to Colonel to about me."
Wow.
Maggie's other
Whoa.
Holy moly.
internal emails also revealed another eye-opener, that commanders at local MSP posts around the state have been told to enforce speed limits even if the MSP's Traffic Services Division considers those limits illegal and or unenforceable. One example is Owen's stop on Parsonage Road there in Saranac. An internal email we obtained shows MSP's post commander, Kevin Sweeney, who serves the Ionia County area, wrote to local leaders, quote, "We don't normally perform patrols in the village limits of Saranac, but if the troops did clock a speeder driving over the posted speed limit, they would write them a ticket and or enforce as they normally would, maybe a verbal warning." So we wanted to know why, on one hand, the MSP would provide testimony that proved a speed limit was illegal for an alleged drunk driver, yet on the other hand, the MSP could write tickets to people for speeding on the same street.
I don't think there's trouble. I think when you look at speed limits, it's an important issue to talk about. We base everything on sound science and engineering, but yet there are variables that we need to consider as well.
Colonel Christy Kibbe,
like these dumb little villages that arbitrarily set low speed limits so that everybody's going to violate it.
Right.
Most people's vehicles, once they're in motion, will idle at 25 miles an hour.
You got to work to get it under 25.
Yeah, you got to ride your brakes to stay going that slow.
Yeah, which drives me, if I'm do you ever find yourself behind a car going down a hill where you take your foot off the gas and you keep speeding up, obviously, and all right, when you get to the bottom of the hill, then you're going to even out. But you're behind that person who wants to keep it exactly at 25.
Yeah, they're a slave to the system.
Yeah. It drives me crazy.
Like, dude, you're not going to get a ticket in this half a block. Hopefully, I would assume.
And if you do, I'll split it with you. Just kidding. I'm going to keep driving.
I really am, but...
is the director of the MSP.
Right now, what the posted speed limit is, we're going to enforce that law. And to say it's, do we need to do a speed study? That's left up to the community, and we get requests for those all the time.
It seems like we do.
It does seem like it. She seems like she's dodging this fairly well.
I think she is, obviously. She doesn't want to get too immersed in it, but...
Yeah, I don't blame her.
No, I don't blame her either. What she should say is, you know what? I mean, we're going to pull people over if they're speeding. If the sign is posted at 25, they're doing 43. We pull them over, but just so you know, they might go to court. And if it's a drunk driver, well, he might be back out on the streets pretty soon.
It's not like every state trooper has a handbook of this road's legit, this one's not.
And what they're counting on and trying to get even the state troopers to follow suit is that
no one will fight it.
If I get a speeding ticket, I don't want to go to court and fight that and everything. Like, what a big-ass hassle that is. Even if you know you're right. I mean, unless they slap you with something so ungodly ridiculous that you go, look, I've got to go to court for this. But if it's like a 5-over thing.
Yeah, most people are just going to pull out their wallet and pay it for, less hassle, like you said.
And what's insane is that I think most average people, you could drive down a road and legitimately get a feel for what you think is probably about the right speed.
Yeah.
Like, there are going to be people that are like, oh, well, I think on just a divided highway, you should be able to go 90. Well, that's stupid.
The belt line should be 70 to 80 miles per hour.
Obviously. I mean, clearly. Like, belt line to me, 55 is right. You've got a lot of different stoplights, but then sometimes it opens up and you can go faster. It's fine, whatever. But then you go down Leonard, and it's 35, and that's 4 lanes, too, and you go, like, it feels so ridiculously artificially slow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's a road by me that's really curvy and fairly narrow, and it's 45. And every time I drive down it, I don't go 45 on it.
Yeah.
Because I go, I can't believe they have the speed limit set at 45 on this. This is definitely a 35-mile-an-hour road. I think most people get a pretty good sense for what it should be.
And I think most officers,
massive studies,
at least from the officers we've known and talked to over the years, most of them kind of base it on, all right, well, you're being unreasonable or you're driving beyond.
Right.
There are plenty of times where they give you a pass. Like that guy probably got pulled over because they probably suspected he was drinking and driving.
Yeah.
And then he happened to be speeding. So
I'm sure. They used that as the excuse.
I think the cops that night were probably doing good police work.
I do not put any of this on the cops at all unless they're the cops who are supposed to be setting the speed limits. If she says it's the townships or the county or whatever or the city, well, get on it. Do it.
Yeah, no, I think they're following the laws that are handed to them. But that being said,
speed limits.
If I was a cop in one of those towns and I knew that was a speed trap, where you're going 55 and suddenly it's 25 for no reason, I'm given a warning every time, and my warning is going to be, "Hey, man,
then you get
I know you got to slow down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you a ticket because between you and me, I know that this is a little bit ridiculously low, but it's going to be here like this next time too, and you might not get me.
Yeah, but then you're the commander.
Oh, I know. Then you're going to get
you out
because
and then
the mayor
at the FOP
wants
hall.
Yeah, because the mayor
he's not
wants
buying you a beer.
their revenue.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
By case basis, I don't think we're saying one thing and doing another. If it's posted one way, troopers will enforce the law. Locals will enforce that posted speed limit.
So the speed limit is the speed limit, even though it's not the speed limit. You know what I mean?
Again,
there's some severe questions.
There's questions, and we'll look at it. We'll do a true study, and I think you're seeing in your area where we take
We'll
that
waste tens of thousands of dollars on each individual road, even though most people could drive down it and go, okay, yep, no, this should be this.
Well, WZZM pulled out this old man and his speed gun for like 5 seconds. They went over a bunch of roads, and all he did was, this should be 45. This should be 55.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that for a day.
Yeah,
right?
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
42.
There you go.
Jim
It's
Walker
that guy.
from the National Motorist Association says it's up to the MSP's management to set an agenda and at the same time be fair to everybody.
It's not the individual officer's fault that the posted limit is wrong.
Exactly.
It's not even the individual officer's fault if the limit is illegal, as it is in many places around this state. There's political pressure coming from somewhere, and I don't know where it's coming from, to do the wrong things. And
I do.
It's not
the
possible.
man.
It is coming from the man or the woe man.
Yeah.
Traffic law.
Our cat-loving city treasurer. That's who it is.
Yeah.
She doesn't steal, she can count, but she loves speed limit money.
Governments need to work this out.
Because if someone is going above the speed limit, it's in some respects a piece of evidence that shows that they were
it's
driving
Law
recklessly or
King.
negligently, right? And if that
Not the one I wanted to see,
speed
though.
limit posted sign is
Well, they don't
meaningless,
put him on.
Not the one we wanted to see either.
then many other problems start to ricochet through our cases as a result of it.
The door left open for this
Blah, 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 blah.
to happen again.
The bottom line is we want to keep people
You think that
safe.
guy that was in
But
that
that's-
video is like, yeah, I get drunk and drive up and down that street at 55 miles an hour all night long. No big deal.
Speed limit is set at 45 or 55. Until things change, we're gonna enforce the law as posted.
Enforce the law as posted. Well, critics of local government say it's been 10 years since the law has changed, and they say it's time to put away revenue opportunities from tickets to make sure limits stand up if they are challenged in court. Local governments, on the other hand, have told us over the past year they don't believe the state government should be frankly telling them how fast their traffic can go.
Don't you tell us.
Thank you for that.
And essentially,
Don't
what
you
that
tell
is
us. We want a
don't
way
tell
to
us
have-
how to spend our money.
We want to have an easy way to have illegal taxation without any sort of actual legislation in order to get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks, Boss Hog.
Yeah, it's all working out.
Yeah.
Good job, ZZM. Nailed it again on that one.
And then tomorrow, maybe we'll find out what the hell's going on in Rockford.
I love investigative journalism. We need more of it.
Yeah.
Well done to ZZM lately and M Live.
Yeah,
They're at the
that
top of the
piece.
list right
Yeah.
now.
Fox has some good investigative stuff, too.
Not lately.
And I assume Wood does.
Yeah,
I think they all do.
I think
The
Wood-
fact
yeah,
that they
most
all
of them
still
do.
have people that do it is a good
I know.
sign.
That's all I want, though.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's waiting to find out what the investigation is into the Rockford football team. Something's going on.
Yeah,
there.
there was a story posted yesterday on ZZM, and it's so short I can literally read the entire thing in about 10 seconds.
Well, what's going on?
It says an investigation regarding the Rockford High School football team is ongoing to determine whether players violated its code of conduct. School officials cannot say what nor whom the investigation involves. It does, however, include the team in some capacity.
Dude, this is going to be huge, and they're hiding facts.
You don't know they're hiding facts.
Yes, they
You
are.
don't know
you
they
know
are.
This is a small town thing that's
Yeah,
going on.
it
This
is.
is a classic small town thing.
Let's give them a chance to hide the facts before you accuse them of hiding the facts.
Listen to this quote.
This is a community covering up.
Listen,
You don't know.
Listen to
No, it seems like it, though.
Listen to the-
Tell me it doesn't seem like
no,
it.
it doesn't.
Local Alex Jones, yeah.
Yeah, listen to this quote. This is such an ambiguous,
This is a
weird
false flag
quote
for football.
from Doug Vanderjack, the Rockford Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Of humor and resources?
That's of Human Resources.
See, it's hard reading.
It is.
Jeez,
It is
Freebeer.
very difficult. Quote: "In an investigation into any kind of conduct is taking place." What?
Okay. Well, they're not going to reveal any facts before the investigation.
No, I know.
All right,
but
you tell me
no
what
one's
you think
listening.
it is. You tell me what you
so
think.
crazy.
I'll bet hazing.
Yeah.
That's my guess. but that's based on nothing.
I
No
know.
one has
This is
emailed
all
or-
based on nothing because everything is so cloaked in secrecy.
What is your bet?
It's either hazing or something worse.
Thank you.
I'm not going to say.
What do you think something less would be?
I'm not going to say anything else.
Well, I mean, you've got the classics. You've got hazing. You've got date rape. You've got potential substance abuse of some sort.
Steroids, yeah.
There could be substance abuse of some sort.
You think so?
What if it's
Possible.
something? What if it's something small and it is like, oh yeah, we thought they stole a football,
Yeah,
and now it's gotten into the press and everything's out of whack.
Like something big. Yeah. What if it is something stupid though? Like the quarterback accepted a slice of pizza from a donor at U of M or something. You go, oh come on.
Yeah, he ate a corner dog.
He was going 35 and a 25.
Free custard next to damn dogs. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Well, it's sad but true. All of those things we said. Just kidding. It's Metallica. 97.9 GRD Rocks.